So, evolution is a word that is understood by most people in a context of carbon based life forms that self organize and change to their environment in order to get better at survival and reproduction. But when you look at a steak, when you cook a steak, it doesn't get cooked in one spot and then spread outward from that spot. The reaction happens everywhere at once, and then throughout the body of the steak, emergence of cooked parts of it happen in a pattern, in the same pattern that life emerges in the universe. Whatever process kickstarted the beginning of evolution happened everywhere in the universe at once. I don't have evidence of this, but when you think about the way most things happen, like when it starts to rain, there's not one drop and then a drop beside it and then a drop beside that. There's a very small amount of drops that happen everywhere, and it picks up and picks up and picks up. When you roll a snowball down a hill, it picks up the entire snowball. You know what I mean? So the fact that we emerged from this planet is inevitable. It's only as special as, a crystal forming in the clouds of Jupiter. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Human beings like to take their own intelligence and use it as some sort of separator that makes them different than everything else. Problem is, all that existed at one point was energy. That's all there was. And so you can either have life emerge from non-living energy, or you can believe that energy itself is alive. Evolution is a process that is indiscriminate towards the materials that it's using. If evolution can use single-celled organisms to create prokaryotes, and it can also use DNA to create muscle tissue, why can't it use light to create angels? You know what I mean? If evolution is a process that gave intelligence to carbon-based life forms, why can't it give intelligence to silicon-based life forms somewhere on a planet that has a different chemical composition? The thing is, it probably does, and there's probably life everywhere. It's probably just syntactically bound to a disconnection from where we are in time-space. We are in a very, very, very small slice of infinity. Yet infinity is vast, boundless, and permeates all corners of reality. So how do we open our eyes to it? How do we witness it? Well, some people say that meditation can set your brain up to be more open to experiences that point towards magical happenings. You know what I mean? Have you ever had an experience? Comment below. Comment below if you've had an experience that you thought can't be explained with coincidence or logic. And I believe that what's happening is that when you do the right thing, you are recalibrating the vibration that you operate with, and depending on which vibration you're using, different things are going to be present in your life. You know what I mean? If you think about the color red 24/7, you're going to see red stuff everywhere. And that's the same with hope and faith and love and success. You know, it's like evolution is kind of just a word that we use because we don't really know what's going on. We've followed the patterns of the way things have changed and tried to reverse engineer it, but we've yet to find a single event or source. Now, some would argue that electromagnetic radiation being prevented from hitting the earth caused a boom in life on earth, and that might have been the point where multicellular life got complicated. But as far as awareness, as far as the indivisible, bottom level, fundamental awareness that links all living entities, we have not found that. We have not found. Now, meditators and gurus and stuff will tell you about it. They will tell you about a love that is, you know, stillness and ever present and everything like that. But as far as like a scientific understanding of the moment that electrons become self-aware and have internal experience, because what are we? We're electrons. We're either electrons that were put together in a way that creates life, or the electrons themselves are alive, or we are not from this reality, but our bodies are. You know what I mean? It's one or the other. It's one or the other, because planets follow the laws of physics, but humans follow the laws of choice making and free will. Where is that differentiation? Where does that split happen? Now, I'm not an evolutionary scientist, and I'm not even a philosopher, but I can tell you that asking these questions might give you an answer. If you're not aware of something, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So I truly recommend not counting it out as an impossibility. Human beings weren't aware of the color blue until thousands of years into their development, yet the sky was there the whole time. You know what I mean? So, the nature of reality, as in the physical world, as in the life that most people live, is change. The universe is always changing. From the smallest vibration to the largest amount of time that goes by, we live, we die. You know what I'm saying? It's change. Change. The only constant is change. Well, there's a freaking dichotomy right there. There's a paradox, because how can change be constant? Happening. Human being. It is an activity. So, until we can find ways around the light, until we can see into somebody else's soul, until we reach a level of mutual understanding that is beyond the symbology of words, we remain individuals like potatoes in a bowl of vegetable soup, trying to navigate the soup. You know what I'm saying? The universe is alive. That's what I fully believe. I don't think you can take dirt and strike lightning on dirt and then all of a sudden Shakespeare is born. I don't think that's how it works. I think the universe is actually alive, and I think it's important to foster a relationship with it, that it might bring you things that are going to make you better. It wants you to succeed. The universe wants you to succeed. Why would it have created you? Something is out there. And when you find it, it changes things. It does. Kind of makes you forget about the things that bother you. And pain is important because pain is a signal that means something bad is happening, and we need to become aware of that so that we can change it. But the turmoils of everyday life are diminished in the face of this thing that exists out there. And some never find it, but it's right there. It's right there.